Good morning, everyone. I, Crystal Joy Faustino, and my partner Jessica Joyce James will going to discuss to you about the educational evaluation. But before we start, let us first discuss what is evaluation. So, evaluation is the next stage in the process. It is a systematic, continuous, and comprehensive process of determining the growth and progress of the pupil toward objectives or values of the curriculum. So, it is a gradual process in which something changes into different and usually more complex or better form. So, I know that you already understand it, so let's proceed to the next one. Educational evaluation. So, educational evaluation is an essential part of educational policy making, planning, and implementation. Its main tenet is the holistic appraisal of a learner, his or her environment, and accomplishments. It is not limited to the teacher-student engagement. It is deemed imperative as a tool in the continuous quality improvement. As a tool for decision making, it also generates data that may trigger changes in the current practices, programs, initiative activities, and policies of the schools. So, the educational evaluation is an ongoing process that do not give gap to the student and teacher engagement. And it starts with assessing performance needs and continues through designing curricular and designing learning experiences to have a continuous quality improvement. So now, let's proceed to the next one. Here in this circle, these are the things that we need to consider when we are having a educational evaluation. First is the instructional grading, to be followed by diagnostic. Next is selection and placement, guidance and counseling, program and curriculum, and last is the administrative policy. Now, first, let's talk about the instructional and grading. So, instructional grading is inside the classroom. Teachers reach instructional decisions with respect to the extent of attainment of the intended learning outcomes. So, it is an inside the classroom activity wherein the teacher will discuss or instruct something, then later on, the student will be graded based on what he or she have learned by a simple activity. Now, let's proceed to the diagnostic. So, diagnostic is an assessment of strengths and weaknesses of the learners that allows the teachers to identify the root that causes difficulty. So, in here naman, the teacher will assess the students what are their strengths and weaknesses and what are the things that causes this. So, by this, they will identify on how to help the student to grow more, especially in their learning. Now, let's proceed to the selection and placement. It is an evaluation data that may also be gathered to select the students to be admitted to program activity. Moreover, the placement decisions is made once the student is admitted to the school and usually intends to identify students who need remediation and enrichment classes. So in here, the teacher will have selection process. If who among the student needs to be admitted to the program that will help them more. And the placement decision naman, it is made if the student that is admitted needs a remediation class. Next is the guidance and counseling. So, guidance and counseling initiatives are deemed more suitable if they are products of assessment. This includes the use of sociometric and standardized personality tests, anecdotal records, and clinical observations. So, it is self-explanatory naman, di ba? So, now let's proceed to the next one. Program and curriculum. It is based on results of evaluation. School administrators may decide to continue or discontinue, revise, or pursue a program. Activity and curriculum. So, evaluation needs succeeding school endeavors. So, in here, it is all about the judgment of the higher ranking positions if whether they want to continue or discontinue, revise, or pursue the program. So next is the administrative policy. Given the available resources of school, a thorough evaluation of the efficiency of utilization of funding and assets shall provide the basis for modification in plans, policies, and processes. Decisions whether to add more staffs must be based on gathered data. So, in administrative policy, they are the one who decides whether they need to add more staffs or on what are the things that needs to be provided. But before they provide something, syempre, they need to base first in the gathered data through their evaluation process. So, kung malinaw na po, now let's proceed to the 5 guiding principles to be discussed by Miss Jessica Joyce James.
So, now, let's proceed to the 5 guiding principles for evaluators by the American Evaluation Association last 2018. So, first is the systematic inquiry. So, thorough and methodical, then contextually relevant. So, evaluators conduct systematic, database inquiries about whatever is being evaluated. So, inquiry cannot be based on pure hearsay or perception. So, dapat based sa concrete evidence and data to support the inquiry process. So, dapat purong katotohanan. So, next is competence. Highly qualified evaluators, then refined evaluative skills. So here is evaluators provide competent performance to stakeholders. Syempre, you are called as evaluator, so you must be competent. The evaluators must be people or persons of known competence and generally acknowledged in the educational field. So next, integrity or honesty. So maintain honesty and transparency, then ensure integrity of evaluation. So evaluators ensure the honesty and integrity of the entire evaluation process. As such, the integrity of authorities who conduct the evaluation process must be beyond reproach. So next, the fourth one is respect for people. So honor the well-being and self-worth of individuals. Then abide by the data privacy regulations. So evaluators must respect the security, dignity, and self-worth of the respondents, program participants, clients, and other stakeholders or with whom they interact. So they cannot act as if they know everything but must listen patiently to the accounts of those whom they are evaluating. So the last one will be common good and equity. Mitigate biases and power imbalances, then strike balance between clients' interests and integrity of evaluation. So, next will be the components of educational evaluation. So, dito naman is pwede siya i-apply for the students and sa teachers or sa kung sino mang ini-evaluate mo. Then, first is the competency evaluation. Is a means for teachers to determine the ability of their students, not necessarily through a standardized test. So here, ang i-evaluate or titignan is yung competency ng bawat estudyante, yung kakayahan nila. Then next is the performance evaluation. From the word performance or perform, so titignan dito kung paano mag-perform ang students, kung na-attain ba ang performance na yon nung objectives ng activity. And then third one is the course evaluation. Evaluates the quality of the delivery of a given course. So here, ina-evaluate yung way mo kung paano ka mag-deliver ng performance or activity, kung akma ba yung ginagawa mo sa subject or course mo. Then the last one from the components is the program evaluation. So determines if a program works. So, next na agad sa evaluation process. We have planning, implementation, analysis, and reporting. First is the planning. In the planning phase, there must be constructive alignment among objectives, programs, and evaluation criteria. So, of course, if mag-evaluate ka, laging mauuna ang planning. Magplano muna kung ano yung kailangang evaluate mo or i-determine how do you evaluate, what will be your criteria for evaluating, then what are the program's conceptual underpinnings, what information is needed to make decisions, which stakeholders will be directly involved in the process, then designing the data collection tool is also a foremost concern in this phase. So next is the implementation. In the implementation phase, the prior concern is the administration of the data collection tool. Extra care in data gathering and handling is a must to ensure authenticity of findings. So here, kung ano yung napagplanuhan, you need to implement it all. Especially sa mga data na i-handle mo para masabing may authenticity yung mga nakalap na information. Then, third one is analysis. So analysis, i-analyze mo in the analysis phase, objectivity in interpretation and credibility of the findings are to be established. Appropriate quantitative and qualitative data analysis tools must be utilized carefully. So, i-analyze mo na or i-interpret mo na yung nakuhang data. Gagamit ka na here ng quantitative and qualitative data analysis tool to get an authentic outcome. So, the last one will be reporting. In the reporting phase, translating the evaluation results in concordance with the context of the recipients of the findings. Data presentation must lead to clarity and not confusion. Consequently, the results will lead to planning for program changes. So, here, ipapakita na dito yung result. Dito na i-present, and the data presentation must lead to clarity and not confusion. And sa results na nakuha, there's a possibility na mag-plan ng program with changes. So, that's all for the Module 6, Lesson 1 on Educational Evaluation. Thank you!